Welcome back, I'm the self-improvement guy, and today we're reacting to 8 steps to unfuck your life. And this video got 5.4 million views, so I'm guessing it's pretty good. And we'll see, I'll basically have a self-improvement spin on everything, so I'm gonna see if it makes sense, and hopefully you're gonna get some good value out of it. That's the goal. I'm not just gonna sit here and stare into the screen the whole time, like I'm gonna speak quite a bit. So be ready for that. And better ideas, if you don't want me to react to this thing, then let me know. And I'm gonna try not to hate, so you know, you don't need that. And let's just get into it. I don't know what's happening to my screen, but
here are 8 steps to unfuck your life.
Let's go.
Step 1. Cleanse thy earthly vessel. Shower. Get fresh. Treat yourself with respect. Brush your teeth. Wear a scent. Because this is it. This is the character you're playing as. And if you fail to take care of yourself on a basic level, you'll fail outwards in space and time. Because it all starts with you.
It's also like, if for example you don't train the body and stuff, then you're gonna get so many more problems and your mental health is just gonna be way worse. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're functioning at a lesser level. But yeah.
Being clean and feeling fresh as a ritual will increase your self-perception over time.
It also just makes you feel better to feel clean mentally. There's just a better conversation going on in your head, I've found at least.
You'll be putting your best foot forward and will be signaling to your subconscious that you're worth taking care of. So even if Yellowstone erupts and the world descends into chaos and destruction, at least you'll smell good. Step 2. Order the kingdom.
What?
Clean your room.
What? This is so different. Before I'm done for 2 weeks, and this guy, he approaches things in a very different way.
Deep clean your house. Get rid of all the shit that's scattering your mind. Refuse to live in a monument of filth, like an ever-present reminder of things left undone. Because the space you occupy is an extension of yourself. Is it disordered? Because if it is, so are you. So take your pick. You can order yourself or order your kingdom. It doesn't really matter because it's the same thing. No more half-done jobs. Go room to room and make things right. Make things beautiful.
Maybe you're wondering why I'm just sitting here staring into the screen. But it's like, I honestly don't know what to say. I don't think I have the most knowledge in this area. Usually when I know a lot of things in an area, like ideas just pop in my mind. But right now it's empty. Because I was thinking about whether this is like solid or not. I think it could be cool, but I'm not 100% sure.
When you are clean and you're king and make things right, make things beautiful. When you are clean.
Because I'm thinking like, if your stuff is if it's like messy, does that mean that you are like messy mentally and all that? And honestly, I don't know. But I guess the less shit you have around you. Let's take this example, right? Or if we were to compare having a clean space compared to not having a clean space, then if you have a clean space, it probably feels better and you're probably a bit better in the head. So I guess it's gonna help, but I think this guy is basically saying this is gonna have a monumental impact. Or maybe it's just saying that it's the first step, because I definitely think it could be a first step to going in the right direction to clean around your house. Yeah.
Clean, and your kingdom is too, then you'll feel like you have your shit together somewhat. And it will encourage you to bring that energy to the rest of your life. Start with you and the things that you have control over, and then...
Yeah, definitely. If you're looking to change and you start cleaning up a bunch of things, then it's a good first step to do other things in your life, right? But if you're not looking to become better, then I don't think it will have at least as big of an impact. But definitely if you're looking to unearth your life, then definitely.
Your life. Start with you and the things that you have control over, and then venture forth. When you have your ducks in a row, then get out of the house. Rapunzel stayed in her tower because she was emotionally manipulated by a devouring mother. But what about you? The human brain operates best with our feet moving, sun in our face, and eyes moving from left to right.
That might be true, that might not be true, I'm not sure.
Go outside. Because everyone's wondering where you went. We're meant to be in relationship and community with others.
True though.
Become an
But it's also like just very good for your body to be outside. But there is definitely something special with being with other people when those people are good people. I don't know if it's better to be alone or to be with people that are affecting your life in a negative way. I guess if it's like for all your life, then maybe to be with people will lead to a better life than being completely alone. But if you're alone for a while, in order to become better, then get with other people that are like really good and will affect your life in a really good way, then I guess being alone for a while isn't that bad. But that's just my personal belief, because I believe the difference between being with the right people and the wrong people is massive. But if you don't believe that, then I guess this way of thinking doesn't really make sense.
And eyes moving from left to right. Go outside, because everyone's wondering where you went. We're meant to be in a relationship.
Just because everyone's wondering where you've been doesn't mean you should go outside and like be with them though. Just saying.
And community with others. Become an initiator of people coming together and things happening. Because the modern world is designed from the ground up to keep you inside.
We're not as engaged with others. And oftentimes we're just waiting for someone to call us. And the other person is probably waiting for us to call them. And then nobody really calls each other. But if you're the guy that calls and orders things, then you do a bunch of things. But I guess if you're doing it every time, then it probably shouldn't affect you, but I guess it could. When I was little, usually I was always calling my friends, and I felt weird about it for some reason, so I kinda stopped doing it, and they didn't call, which it's not because they didn't want to be with me, I'm pretty sure, because they were like still good homies, and yeah, that wasn't the reason. But I kinda just, maybe they didn't think I wanted to be with them anymore. Or maybe I was overthinking how much I was calling them. And then when I suddenly stopped calling them, maybe they thought I didn't want to be with them. But yeah, and then I spent a lot of time alone for a while. And I don't necessarily believe there's anything wrong with being alone for a while, which other people might believe, and maybe it's not the most optimal, and being alone for a while might not be for everyone, because we always have to base the possibility of us suddenly dying with us living for a long time. And if you're really social and really like hanging out with people, and even if you're not with the best people potentially, then you probably shouldn't go all alone, because then you'll probably potentially become very depressed or pretty sad, or like the quality of your life will go down. And maybe it's okay if it's a little bit and only for a short while or for a medium while, but if it goes down like a lot, then that's probably not the best way. Maybe instead you should be active in trying to find other people, I guess, because yeah, being alone for a while probably isn't for everyone, but it worked out for me, I guess, or working out, I don't know if it is, but I'm chilling right now, so maybe it did, probably did, I don't know. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here speaking with you.
Modern world is designed from the ground up to keep you inside. We technically don't have to leave the house ever, so a lot of us don't, and our lives pass us by. Step 4, sweat.
When he's saying that, I think he's implying that our life is worse when we do that. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I don't want to go past that without acknowledging it, but yeah.
I told you there was a pill, lives pass us by. Step 4, sweat. If I told you there was a pill that was guaranteed to boost your mental and physical energy throughout the day, increase your overall mood and outlook on life, improve your mental clarity, prolong your lifespan, and increase your physical attractiveness, would you take that pill? But that pill is real, and it's called working out. And the top performers in the world take it every day. So get the blood pumping.
There's so many benefits to it. It's like with sleep. Yeah, you should definitely sleep more, and if you don't train a lot, you should definitely start training. And I probably wouldn't recommend starting 7 times a week, because if you know that you'll probably not be able to do that, then start slower and then start building it up, and do that pretty slowly, and then you'll actually start enjoying it, and then you can do it more right. But even, I guess it depends on what stage you're in. I guess it's very different if you're very skinny or normal, or if you're a little bit overweight or a lot. Yeah, but I still believe you shouldn't start at every day. I think you should go pretty slow, because wouldn't you rather finish but go a bit slower than to not finish? And especially if you have a history of not really finishing things, then I definitely believe it's better to start going slower and also start doing smaller things in your life so you can get a lot of victories. Like, for example, fixing your bed, or whatever you say, every morning, because that is a pretty easy thing to do, and it's always a victory having your bag, like in your back pocket, and you can look at that and say, look, I'm consistent, I do this thing. And then you have both proof that you are consistent and that you do things and that you don't do things. But it's like, if you start going more over here, and if you look more and put your attention more over here, then I believe it will gradually start shifting like this.
And the top performers in the world take it every day. So get the blood pumping, go break a sweat, do it daily, because that which costeth energy giveth energy. Step 5, monitor.
Yeah, I definitely believe you should aim to do it daily over long term, but like I said, probably not in the beginning. Maybe like take a walk, but maybe not go to absolute failure until you want to die every day, or like till you throw up or whatever.
Daily, because that which costeth energy giveth energy. Step 5, monitor thy treasury. Because giant corporations are thriving on the fact that you don't. They encourage unconscious spending and auto-renewing subscriptions that slowly bleed you of your hard-earned cash. And this out-of-sight, out-of-mind attitude is keeping you stuck. So check your balance daily. Does it sting? Good. Let that sting motivate you to investigate what's going on. What are you paying for that you don't care
Pretty
about?
good advice.
Exposing yourself to the hard numbers unlocks the ability to do something.
Honestly, I don't really spend a lot of money. I don't know why I didn't get into it, but I've been pretty conscious to not do it. And when I spend money, I can feel like, whoa, this is way too easy. And I bet there's a lot of people that have a problem with spending too much money. But unfortunately, or fortunately, like, I haven't really done it, so I'm probably not the best person to ask for advice in that area. Or that wouldn't be the case if I did a lot of research, but I haven't done it.
Care about. Exposing yourself to the hard numbers unlocks the ability to do something about it. Step 6, remove the hooks. What are you bound to?
Idea that came to my mind was that if you're constantly thinking about money, like checking your account a lot, if that has a significantly negative impact on your life, is that worth it? That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure right now, so let's ask the question. If we were to look at our bank account, let's say, every day, and if it stinks, would that make our life better or worse? And I'm not just talking in the moment, but overall, like in the future and stuff. I'm honestly not sure. I have a hard time putting myself in that situation completely. And if I'm like half in it, then I don't think I can get a best answer. But if you're in that situation, then I want you to ask yourself and be honest. And then you should probably ask yourself again tomorrow when you're in a different state, and then you do that for like 3 days if it's like a really important decision, because then the idea is that it's not as emotional of a decision because you're letting a lot of time pass by, and then maybe you're making more of a logical decision, which will probably lead to you making a better decision in the long term.
To do something about it. Step 6, remove the hooks. What are you bound to? What are you dependent on in order to operate at baseline? What external substances or behaviors are you using to medicate internal problems? Turn off notifications. Stop getting pulled back into the cycle.
I did that. I turned off notifications, and in the beginning I didn't turn off notifications for messages or the phone, and I had a hard time turning off Instagram. No, it was Snapchat, but I had a hard time deleting Snapchat because I had those streaks, right? And when I turned off notifications for Snapchat, which wasn't that hard, but when I did that, then naturally I just started going into the app less and less and less, and then I started losing streak after streak after streak, and then I didn't really have anything there anymore, so then it was easier for me to stop using it. But it's so crazy sometimes because I don't have notifications anymore. It was a long time ago I removed it, like more than a year, so I don't really remember what it's like. But obviously if you're working focused and then your phone buzzes, it destroys your focus, and it probably just makes you then way less productive and stuff. And it's always like, it's just an attention grabber, and it takes you away from the moment, what you're doing, what you're thinking about, to that place. So it's basically like, let's say you have like a 30 that is your day. Of course you have naturally some cuts in it, but notifications, especially if you get a lot, it's like, and I think it just makes your life way worse. And I notice it especially when I'm in conversation with people like IRL, and then their phone just buzzes a few times or just one time. I can feel myself being thrown off course, and of course I can probably get back, but it's not really the same. It's like if you have a phone. I heard this thing somewhere that if you have a phone on the table, then it makes like the conversation worse, because even if it's like upside down, because your like attention goes towards it instead of if you have it off the table, apparently leads to better conversations. And I don't know if that's the case now, because when I see a phone on the table, then I think about this being a worse conversation, or if it's like actually affects it. What did he even say?
Problems. Turn off notifications. Stop.
Yeah, he was talking about addictions. Yeah, honestly, I consider myself pretty blessed because I haven't really started engaging in a lot of things people are addicted to. Maybe candy could be one of them, but I kind of started feeling sick when I ate candy a while back, and then I stopped doing it. And then after a while, in the beginning I think I still had an urge to eat it sometimes, but then after a while it kind of has disappeared. So yeah. But I'm living a decently clean life, I suppose. But yeah. And I don't have a lot of knowledge about quitting addictions and stuff, like going cold turkey. Some things it works on, some things it doesn't. I think legit if you do it with some things, it might kill you. But probably not most things. But I honestly don't really
to
know.
medicate internal problems. Turn off notifications. Stop getting pulled back into the cycle. Unsubscribe to email chains. Unfollow Instagram accounts. Remove things.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Sometimes I just clean my subscription feed on YouTube, for example. It's nice because I remove the things that I don't care about basically really anymore, and then it's so much cleaner. I guess it goes back to keeping your kingdom clean or whatever. It's also like your internet kingdom or whatever you say. But yeah.
Subscribe to email chains, unfollow Instagram accounts, remove things that constantly pull you back into mindless consumerism. Step 7. Strategize. Every military operation, political campaign, major corporation relies on a strategy to increase the chances of success. If you were tasked to run one of these entities and you showed up without a strategy, you'd be laughed out the door. But what about your life? Are you just floating through without a strategy, hoping you'll end up in a desirable place 5 years down the line? Well, I'm sorry to be the one.
Yeah, I definitely think it's beneficial to have a decent idea of at least in which direction you're going in. I'm not sure if I subscribe to the idea that you should know exactly where you want to go, and exactly what you want to do with your whole life. But I definitely believe it's beneficial if you know in what direction you're going in, and if you have shorter term goals, or maybe even like 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, month, week, maybe even, or like weekly things. I definitely believe that will, yeah, I think it just makes things better, because when you're going somewhere, it's a different kind of feel to it. And if you know what you're striving for, then it's kind of like you have a different vibe about life, I think. Yeah, I definitely believe it deserves a place on this list.
Hoping you'll end up in a desirable place 5 years down the line? Well, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but things don't usually get better on their own. Even a man of faith would be a fool not to be proactive with the tools God has given him. For his sloth, not a...
If you just, for example, pray about something and don't actually do anything in order to get that thing, then you're probably not gonna get that thing. Because the way you get that thing is by doing the things that will get you that thing. It's not like it's just drops down from the sky. At least in probably 99.9999. A couple more nines there before it's ended, right? So yeah.
A fool not to be proactive with the tools God has given him. For is sloth not a sin? So put the figures on the board. What do you want in life, and in what ways do you tend to fail achieving it? Develop a strategy based on the information you have available, and use this info to figure out the most effective way forward. You'd be surprised as to how monstrously effective even a basic strategy can be. Step 8. Submit. Submit to the things you must do, because the thinking has already been done by you. Shut your mind off and relinquish yourself of the burden of overthinking. Learn what it feels like to put your rationalization on...
A saying came to mind, I don't know if it fits, but I forgot.
Submit. Submit to the things you must do, because the thinking has already been done by you.
True, we do a strategy of what we should do, or we say we're gonna do this thing, and then when we actually get to it, we just do it. And sometimes, even if it sucks, we just do it because we know it's what we should do. And yeah, and if you start with smaller things, then eventually you'll be able to just do the things that are of bigger size, or whatever you see in your life.
Shut your mind off and relinquish yourself of the
harder things.
Has already been done by you. Shut your mind off and relinquish yourself of the burden of overthinking. Learn what it feels like to put your rationalization.
Overthinking is not ideal. I've definitely engaged in it a few times. I was gonna say I've definitely been a victim, but then I'm giving away the power, and if I give away the power, then it's like, oh, I can't do anything about it. But of course that's not true. I've definitely done it a few times.
Of the burden of overthinking. Learn what it feels like to put your rationalization on mute. Take a deep breath and do what you need to do. Trust the more authentic voice in your head and let it override your weaker self. Because over time, this authentic self will become your primary voice. And the more you listen to your authentic self, the more you will develop a stronger sense of identity. And having a strong, reliable identity is the basis of confidence and self-efficacy. And there's no...
It sounds really good. I don't think I can speak a lot about it, because I think it was, for better or for worse, I don't think I've been in that bad of a situation before. I don't know why, I kind of just never got into those states of mind. Even for a few years when I was spending a lot of time alone. Like my closest friends, at least 2 of the 3 people I spent the most time with were depressed, and potentially the third one. But I was just sitting there at home, playing Roblox on my computer, chilling, eating some, like, sweets, or not a lot of sweets, but maybe some apple, maybe like a sandwich, maybe drinking some milk, drinking some water, maybe even some soda or something. I was just sitting there playing Roblox for a few hours, and yeah, I mean, I'll definitely go into some darker moments, but fortunately for me, I especially remember this one time. I was like, I'm not in a good. I was conscious of the fact that I wasn't in a good place, and then I went to sleep, and then it kind of disappeared the next day. Maybe not completely, but over the next few days. So I'm grateful for that. I don't know why, but or I know why I'm grateful for it, but I don't really know how it didn't really affect me. I think it was partly, at least, because I didn't really know a lot about depression back then, I guess. I've noticed that sometimes when I engage a lot with other people, I can catch myself at times feeling like I'm supposed to feel this way when I'm in this situation. And I think that if depression would have been more on my mind back then, and that because I spent a lot of time alone that I should be depressed, then I might have gotten down a darker path. But I definitely don't only think it's because you're supposed to feel this way. I definitely think there's something that's happening, but I don't have enough knowledge in this area to speak really well about it, so probably shouldn't say that much.
Identity is the basis of confidence and self-efficacy, and there's no better feeling than that. So, if you're beaten and battered and tired from the strife, then follow these 8 steps of identity. And having a strong, reliable identity is the basis of confidence and self-efficacy, and there's no better feeling than that.
I don't know if it's the best feeling, but it's probably pretty good. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like a lot of YouTubers probably like to exaggerate things a little more than maybe what's the truth. It's like they say this thing is the best, like here for example, because I think just yesterday when I reacted to another video, they also said that this thing is the best or this is the worst. And it sounds way better when you're listening, but I think it's definitely up there. But it's very subtle, or like small, whatever you say. But I wouldn't say it's the truth. But maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe he genuinely thinks that's the best. But it's definitely beneficial to the people that's watching him if they believe it's the best, or like if they're reaching, probably if they're reaching for it. So by him saying that, it doesn't affect the people that's watching badly. So there's probably not really a problem with confidence the way he does it, but I just don't think it's the truth.
Self-efficacy, and there's no better feeling than that. So if you're beaten and battered and tired from the strife, then follow these 8 steps and unfuck your life.
Is that it?
Thank you to Athletic.
Oh, it's a sponsor at end. Whoa, what a G puts it at end. It was only 5 minutes. I'd say it's a good video. Make sure to like and subscribe. But if you have any ideas for me to do, like any videos you want me to react to, hopefully or ideally it would be self-improvement related, then let me know. And have a good time. Peace.